Multi-print complete. PDA implant reset to factory settings. Warning. Atmospheric pressure above human maximum. Projected lifespan 13 minutes. Adaptation required. Scanning for necessary adaptation. Clear for work. Barometric depth gauge activated. A serious accident has occurred. Your sleep bay has been separated from the cicada. You must reach the surface and send a distress call.
So I've been playing Subnautica 2 in early access. And this problem is not that bad, but there's a few omnipresent bugs. That's of course because it's in early access and that's alright. But adding on to that there's the story that, at least in my experience, made absolutely no sense. But even putting all that aside, there's one major problem I can't stop thinking about. Subnautica 2 isn't scary. And weirdly enough, I think the game accidentally ruins its own horror immediately. The problem is, the game already starts off in a horror scene. It doesn't try to convince you it's safe before throwing leviathans at you. It's not about the game instantly throwing monsters at you. Instead you find yourself in a crashed wreck 500 meters below sea level and you need to swim through the dark abyss to get out of there. And honestly, at first, it works. The environment itself is creepy. But the issue is that the game starts at that level immediately. There's no build-up toward fear. You begin the game already submerged in it. Which means your brain adapts way faster than it should. The darkness, the depth, and the tension stop feeling unusual because the game establishes them as the default state almost instantly. And once fear becomes normal, it loses a lot of its power. So what if we compare it to the first Subnautica? I know there's already a lot of video essays on the genius of Subnautica's horror and how we lost that in Below Zero, but that difference becomes even more apparent in the second game. But just look at the first game. You could see the ocean floor. You could understand your surroundings. And because the game made you comfortable first, going deeper became terrifying naturally. The horror came from leaving safety behind, not spawning directly into danger. That's why hearing a distant reaper roar in the first game was unforgettable. You didn't know what made that sound. And when the creature finally shows up and either just eats you up or grabs your seamoth with its weird horns around its mouth, that's when you were actually scared. That safe feeling you had back then, gathering copper in the safe shallows, that's what Subnautica 2 fails to do in my opinion. While there are a lot of different fishes in the game, at least taking in the fact that it's, like I already said, still in early access, the Leviathan variety isn't that crazy. There's only one you ever have to interact with. The other one is just in the void and you don't have to go there, and the game even shows you where it starts because it's the current unfinished area. This is probably the biggest issue overall. The original game understood that suspense is more important than danger. There were long stretches where almost nothing happened. And those moments were terrifying because your brain expected something could happen at any second. That anticipation created dread. But Subnautica 2 doesn't really build tension gradually. You would probably expect something similar to the first game. Instead of that perfect mix of danger and safety, you get two clearly separate parts, being danger or exploration. Sure, there are a few attacking fish in the exploration areas, but you can't really die that easily from them. On the other hand, there's that one area between the magma zone and the alien ruins where IT lurks. You can't really do anything with that thing swimming around because it literally locks onto you instantly and doesn't really allow you to loot that area. Oh, and it can also just scoop you right out of the vehicle you're in if you're just a passenger. And I haven't even addressed that the game literally just plays some boss music whenever the Leviathan gets close. That might make the situation more tense, but it's nothing against a Reaper Leviathan suddenly screaming in your ear while it's either completely silent or some calm safe shallows music plays. The first game made you afraid before anything attacked you. This one mostly tries to scare you during attacks, and that changes the entire feeling of the experience. Good horror depends on contrast. You need calm moments so the scary moments actually hit harder. The original Subnautica understood this perfectly. Sometimes you'd spend 10 peaceful minutes gathering resources, and then suddenly realize the water around you had gone completely dark. Or the music stopped. Or you couldn't see the bottom anymore. That transition was terrifying. But in Subnautica 2, the atmosphere starts heavy and intense right away, and whenever something scary is gonna happen it returns to that before the real threat even shows up, clearly preparing you for what's coming. Now again, this is early access. The game could improve a lot. More creatures could be added. The pacing could change. The horror elements could become more layered over time. But right now, Subnautica 2 just doesn't feel scary. The original game made players fear the unknown by slowly dragging them deeper into it. This game starts with the unknown immediately surrounding you. And because of that, the fear peaks too early. Instead of building suspense, the game either throws you into the arms of the Kraken or lets you swim freely through safety. That's how this game destroyed its own horror. Anyway, those are my thoughts. Maybe the full release changes everything. But right now, I think the original game still understands underwater horror way better.